Hi guys, and welcome to another video. This time we're going to be talking about KBEAR or KBEAR. I don't know really how it's said, if it's KB and then ear or KBEAR, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to be talking about KBEAR and some of their products of over the last couple of let's say months, although there's one specific one here that is a little bit older, which is the Robin over here. And the reason why I decided to do this video is to try and understand, in a market where you cannot afford to miss, you have to be sure that every single one of your IEMs, or at least the majority of them, are hits. Gone are the days where you could afford to just put something together and it would be it. No, you now have to design your IEMs, and you have to make sure that that what comes out is a perfect culmination of build, sound, accessories, everything, and obviously price. We live in a market where $20 IEMs now are playing as well as $100 IEMs used to play just a few years ago. So I struggle to understand why sometimes some brands just are stuck in certain ways. Granted, having said what I just said, I know that some of them, and KBEAR is no exception, do attempt to do collaborations, and they've done collaborations with many reputable people over the in their past. Let's put it that way. But those collaborations, or those projects, are not enough to justify the current lack of quality that we find in KBEAR. Couple of months ago, actually, let me start with the Robin. The Robin was not a bad IM. You know what? The Robin actually was a nice IM. 1+4 kind of reminded me a lot of a polished up ZS10 Pro. And polished up, why? Because it had about the same bass, cleaned up mids, not as shouty, definitely cleaned up treble, but in that process of cleaning up, they subdued it too much, and it became a little bit dark. But still, it was a nice sounding. Not dark is not. Let's say warmish IM. Very tip sensitive with the silicone tips. It wasn't really the best with the foams like I have here. It does it justice. And like I said, 1+4 played well, had a nice bass, not the fastest bass in the world, but it was nice. It was a nice, engaging, pleasant, easy to listen earphone. Okay, and then they had some smaller IEMs, the KS1 and a few other things that came along, but nothing really special. And then they launched the Rose Finch, and initially, and Rose Finch is part of the series of IEMs which are named after birds. And initially, I have to admit that when I first heard the Rose Finch, I just couldn't understand the tuning. And I couldn't understand the tuning because it had ridiculous bass, of good quality, mind you, but then no mids and highs to follow through. And it just made for an IEM that was a big disappointment. A very nice driver. I mean, this driver that they use here is a composite silicone biofiber diaphragm driver. Something that you can, for example, find also being used, well, not this driver, but the same type of diaphragm, you find it in the HAKUGEI MS5. and the quality of the driver is quite evident. It slams. I mean, this thing has got real slam. And at the time I retuned it, brought down the bass level, changed the curve of the mids and the highs, and made for a much nicer sounding IM. And then subsequently, a couple of weeks ago, I made an easier change to this Rose Finch, which was just basically changing the nozzle filter. After many tries, I found the right grade, and the way that it is now, and this is what I've got here. That's that final version, modded version. This is how the Rose Finch should have been launched. It's still got all that great bass, which, for example, will trade blows easily with a legato, and I said that when I reviewed the legato. This, as it is here, will trade blows with a legato, no problem. The legato has got amazing bass. This will trade blows with it in terms of bass. But then, due to the alterations I've done, which is an easy to do mod, you have got great mids, great upper mids, nice extension. It just sounds really nice. It's V-shaped, yes, of course. It's colored, yes, of course. But it's fun. It's fun. It's engaging. It's bouncy. And you know, everything is colored, but it's quality. Amazing. Then they launched the Storm. The Storm is like $13.99. And funny enough, this was actually not badly tuned. It's got very basic construction, but the tuning was actually quite nice. V-shaped, but it's compared stock with the Rose Finch. This is superior to the Rose Finch. It's much more balanced than the Rose Finch. Obviously, the driver is not the same quality, and if you start pushing things and everything, it showcases that it's a simpler, a weaker IEM. But in stock format, nice. Okay, fair enough. Then a couple of months ago, they launched the Qinglong. A whole bunch of hype around it, blah 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 blah. Nice metal shell. It looks the business. I mean, this is $59. 10mm PU and PEQ and PEEQ diaphragm, which I'm not saying it's the same driver, but it seems to be the same thing that you find in the Storm. The Storm has also got a 10mm 32 ohm PEEQ PU driver. So PEC PU driver, let's put it that way, it's easier. So this has got these two apparently seem to share the same driver, a PEC PU driver. I've opened them up. They don't visually confer with each other, but the diaphragm definitely is the same quality. I'm sure that this magnetic circuit here is better, but the truth is, in terms of sound, as it is in stock format, I still prefer the Storm. The Storm still sounds better. This has got a great shell, great build, everything, ticks the right boxes in that department. But then the driver tuning, no. So I retuned it, and this one here has been retuned. And retuned again, not a difficult mod, but more complex than the mod of the Rose Finch. It sounds interesting. Now it actually sounds interesting. If it came with this tuning, I am sure that many people would say, well, this is okay. We've heard something similar to this, but this actually sounds half decent. It's got nice build. Okay, we can wreck this. All right. Then a couple of weeks later, they launch the XuanWu. At this time with a PU and carbon diaphragm driver. 8mm, smaller, kind of gives you a vibe of the Believe, kind of something like that. And once again, what is up with the tuning? Seriously, what is up with the tuning? I'm honestly lost for words. Anyway, I again retuned it, and the tuning that this has, this formula that I came up with, again, much nicer than stock format. Easier, nice. This is acceptable, this is nice, this is decent. And for $22.99, it's a much easier wreck. Is it better than a KZ ZVX or the DFI? No, it's not. No, it isn't. Even retuned, it's not better. But at least now, it's got something which, for those that just don't want the KZ, it will justify, okay, yes, I can rec this one. It's a nice IEM. Yeah, I get it. And now the latest one is the Pecker, which has been clouded with a whole bunch of controversy because of the name. So they've also called it the KB2208. Same driver as on the Rosefinch for the DD, but it's got two BAs, which are in the shell, not on the nozzle. So that's a good thing. But then once again, I cannot for the love of me understand what is up with the tuning. I mean, basically, the mid tuning here is the same mid tuning that you find in the stock Rosefinch. They've lowered the bass, so that was smart. So the bass now matches a little bit better. But the mids are too recessed, too cut, and then the BAs, I don't understand. I mean, you put them in the body, fine, that's good. At least duct them into the nozzle and filter them and make them work so that you can actually hear them properly and they make sense to be there, you know. Don't just, I don't understand. Once again, I've done a small little retune on it, very basic little retune on it. I'll probably end up doing a more complex one, but I've just done a small retune, and I ask the question again: why didn't it come the way that I've retuned it? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the best or I'm special. No, but I do know a couple of things about sound, and I do half know how to tune. At least single DDs, I can tune them quite well. You might think I'm being presumptuous, I'm being vain. No, I'm just being honest. You know, I've done so many that I can confidently say I know how to tune a single DD, and this now sounds half decent. This now sounds capable of, okay, fine, this is $32. What do you have at $32? Oh, okay, you got the Z300 HBB, you've got the Chapone, the Piccolo, you've got the C2, you know, you got a couple of IMs at that price, probably all of them better than this, even retuned. But at least now retuned, it can try to trade blows with those IEMs. It can try to be competitive, because in terms of construction, it's the build is there. I mean, the build quality, of KBEAR is good. The build quality of the Rosefinch is perfect for $14.99. No complaints. The build quality of the Pecker, again, perfect. The build quality of the XuanWu and the Qinglong, top notch. Metal nice. The only one that has a cheap build is really the Storm. Okay, and $13.99 when you can get a Rosefinch for $14.99. Honestly, what you do there is so simple that's the option. Just get that. Whoever wants to get that, I'll teach them what they have to do. It is very easy, and you will not be disappointed by the sound that this has modified. So, you know, I'm a fanboy of KBEAR. I like KBEAR products. I've got quite a lot of their products, if not probably all of them. I don't have a Believe. I would like to have but I would like to own a Believe. Now, what I don't understand is why don't they just pay that little extra attention? You know, just that little extra attention to making sure that what they launch is tuned in a competitive manner and can go up against its direct competitors, TRN, KZ, CCA, you know, because the reality is this stands absolutely no chance against the likes of the C2 and C3s. This stands absolutely, they don't have an IEM as of now, tuned stock, that can go up against anything under $100 in a solid manner. You know, nothing. The last one that they had, which was half decent, was the Ink, and still that, by today's standards, it would be eaten alive. You know, so it pities me. Honestly, it pities me to be saying this, because I don't want to come across like I'm bashing KBEAR. No, I'm not bashing KBEAR. I want them to be successful. I want them to launch great products, like I used to say about KZ, and KZ now is launching great products, you know. But when you have a product like the PR2 for $45, my friends, you know, what I've said about KBEAR applies itself to TRN as well, you know. But I'll do a separate video on that. So please guys, I've said it, I'll say it again publicly. Talk to me, get in contact with me. I'll gladly share my minute knowledge with you and or with your engineers and try and help you come up with something which is tuned nicely and sounds good and plays good, because you deserve to have a winning product. You've had them in the past, you deserve to have them again. All right, guys, I'll just show you quickly the graphs of what I've done, and that's it. All right, you take care now. Hi guys, and welcome on to the graph section for this little video about KBEAR, I don't know. Let me just clear them all up, and let's start from the beginning. Okay, so this first graph is the graph of the XuanWu, okay, the 8mm. Honestly, you look at this and you think, oh, okay, it's not too bad. Well, trust me, it's not fantastic either. It just sounds very weird. So I retuned it, and that's what I came up with. Forgive these squigglies. This is to do with the tip actually fitting inside of the coupler and staying there. But between the stock and my tune, I think my tune speaks for itself. Much nicer, cleaner, no peakiness, no shoutiness, nothing. Much nicer. It's got decent soundstage, although you don't feel that amount of air as the graph here would indicate. Okay, so that's that. This is the storm. I did nothing to the storm. You know what? It's not. It doesn't sound all that bad. It doesn't. At least the 5K peak here is gone, so it doesn't shout or try to kill you as much as you would think, because it's got this thick mid bass. It also helps camouflage any excessive energy that you might find here. It sounds pretty decent. This is the stock Rose Finch. Crazy amount of bass. Where's the mids? Where? So I retuned it, and that's what I came up with. And trust me, the difference is huge. The fact that there's just that little extra 2-3 dBs before 3K, just that little bit there, the making the pinna a little bit more aggressive, changed completely the dynamics of the Rosefinch. There's another tuning that I did as well, but that's more complex, so I'm not really gonna bother showing you because it's pointless. This is the Qinglong, supposedly endowed with great vocal capabilities and so on and so forth. Again, no, it just sounded dark, so I retuned it, and this retune was actually a little bit more complex. Lowered slightly the mid bass, and changed the dynamics here, and actually what comes out is a more pleasant sounding IEM. It's just more pleasant sounding. This one now is the stock Pecker. Again, what is this? Please, what is this? I then retuned it. This was the first retune. I gave it a little bit of extra energy there. Wasn't too happy with that. Came up with this one, which is better. Completely different IEM. The balanced stock between the bass and the mids and the upper mids is much better. It just sounds completely different. For those that were maybe in doubt about the dynamic driver being the same as the Rosefinch, here is the Rosefinch. Of course, the bass is not the same, but as you can see, I've basically retuned the dynamic driver to have kind of what the Rosefinch is doing, although then the Rosefinch still has more energy. Those BAs are dead in the water as far as I'm concerned. And then, the final graph here is the Robin. Okay, this is the Robin. if you want to fault it, it's not really the ups and downs here, because it's not too bad. It doesn't shout, at least, as you can see. 5K. It's just that it is excessively warm, and it just makes for a nice, pleasant sound, very unfatiguing. But if you're a person that likes a little bit more detail, this won't be the ideal. Okay. So yeah, guys. This is my retuned, once more, my retuned XuanWu. This is the Storm. Okay. This is this is my retuned. I took out the Storm. This is my retuned Rose Finch. Nice. This is my retuned Qinglong. Number 8, I believe it is. No, number 8. Number 9. No, it's 10. Yeah. And that's the Pecker retuned as well. Out of all of them, I still think, personally for me, although it's got crazy amounts of bass, that the best one is the retuned Rosefinch. It just sounds, it's got really, really good bass. I mean, just for the sake of me showing you what I told you about the legato's bass, and this is the 7 hertz legato here. Okay, that's a 7 hertz legato, and just in case there is doubts, there you go. It's even got better mids than the legato. The legato is a little bit more polished up in the upper mids and treble, but a good part of the mids and upper mids are better in the modified Rosefinch. And there you have it, $14.99. That could have been made to sound amazing, and I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe, and any questions, please feel free to ask. Take care now. Bye bye.